So it's all good. So is the correct pronunciation Darian? Is that correct?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, Darian. So we're here. This is for the channel Best Resorts Punta Cana. Um, we got in contact with you because you are a Keller Williams agent in Punta Cana. Sounds like a dream for me to be selling real estate, helping clients out in beautiful tropical weather. So, can you tell us a bit about you, your background, where you're from, and maybe why you ended up in Punta Cana?
Sure. Yeah, I'm originally from the States. I've lived in a few places in the States. From Ohio, lived in New York, lived in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
In Portland, I became a real estate agent. I was a licensed broker out there. The market crashed. I got out of the business, went into cell phone stores for a while, and then in 2012 moved down here. So I've been in the Dominican Republic since January of 2012, 9 years already.
All right, you're Dominican
And
now.
yes, here they call it platanao.
Platanao. Yeah, they do.
A platanao. My wife, my two kids here. My kids were 5 and 7 when we moved here.
Okay.
And so, yeah, they're teenagers now, and this is home to them.
Oh, that's
they
great.
love the Dominican Republic. If we ever talk about moving back, they don't want to.
Yeah, I understand. So your wife is also American?
She grew up just like yourself. She grew up in the States.
Yeah.
But she was born here in Santo Domingo.
Okay, cool. So that's really great. I'm really glad it's been able to work out. I got in contact with Darian because I was interested in purchasing a property in Punta Cana. So I invited him to have a video call with us just so we can get some background information on is it possible for U.S. citizens to purchase properties in Punta Cana? Because a lot of people don't even think of purchasing a property in America, you know? So then purchasing a property in Dominican Republic would seem like far out, right? So for the most part, where's your clientele coming from that say, hey, I want to look into a property in Punta Cana?
Well, we have a large percentage of our customer base is coming from the United States.
Okay.
People in the States are just looking for vacation property. And then we have a lot of Dominicans too who are like, I want some nice property where I can retire. I can move back to my country of origin and live in a tropical paradise again. So that's most all of our customers are coming from over there in Punta Cana anyway. The people in Punta Cana itself, the criollos, the natural born there, aren't really our customers at this point.
Yeah, I understand. So for the most part, do these individuals visit a resort first, say, "Wow, this is beautiful," and then somehow they contact you, or how does that
Yes,
work?
exactly. Yeah, I get a lot of people say, "Yeah, I went on vacation. I've been down there 2 or 3 times, and I want my own place there now. Something that I can rent out when I'm not there, but that I can use anytime that I want to go down there."
Sure. So now this is 2021 January. We're still in the middle of all this COVID stuff. So how has that impacted the real estate market in Punta Cana, in your opinion? Has there been less demand for homes, less tourists? How's that been working out for you guys?
Oh yeah, it's definitely lowered the demand. It's created a buyer's market for us here in Punta Cana because there are a lot of condominium projects already in the works, and they've kept going. The construction is still going here.
Yeah.
New construction projects are coming up, but we have a lot of inventory.
That's amazing.
It's a good time for buyers.
Yeah. So, so what are the requirements? I'm a U.S. citizen. I visit Punta Cana. I fell in love with it. I have a good credit score. I don't even know if that's even valid in Dominican Republic, what what do they call it? Like TransUnion, Experian, blah blah blah. Those three companies
Mhm.
that they got going. So what's
Right.
the what are the requirements? And can I use proof of funds from the United States? Do I need to provide my tax returns? How does that really work?
Okay. Um, First of all, we'll get to the basic requirements right away. Money and a passport.
Okay.
You don't have to be a resident. You don't
Mm,
have to be a citizen of the Dominican Republic. You just
mm,
have to have a passport and you have to have money.
mm.
Now, financing. Yes, the credit score from those major credit scoring companies that you mentioned, that is valid with banks here.
Mm.
In fact, the currency in the Dominican Republic is the peso,
Mm.
but in Punta Cana, mainly they deal with dollars.
Yeah.
So banks will give loans in US dollars in Punta Cana. We have been dealing closely with Scotia Bank recently, which is in the US, which
Mm.
is also a Canadian bank. And the reason we're dealing with them is because they're giving rates that no other bank is even coming close to.
Okay.
They're given a 3.75 fixed for 3 years, and then it becomes adjustable, and a
Mm.
4.75 fixed for 5 years, at which point it becomes adjustable.
Okay.
But since nobody's even close to those rates, we've been working closely with them, with all of our customers.
So
So yeah, they're going to look for your tax forms, your credit score, your debt to income ratio, all those same things that they look for when you're getting a mortgage in the USA.
So I have a question in regards to that. You see here in the U.S., they'll do 15-year loans, they'll do 30-year loans that are standard, and they'll be fixed the whole 30 years. Does that exist
Mhm.
in Dominican Republic?
Yeah, the you usually hear 20 to 25 years on your mortgages here.
Okay.
And yes, you can get fixed, but of course you're going to be at a higher rate. You might be at 6, 7%
Okay.
on those fixed dollar loans. Peso loans, much
Don't
higher,
don't
but
even think
that
about it,
doesn't
cause
really affect
yeah,
the
cause
foreign investor.
inflation. Okay, cool. So I'm super interested in in assets, right? Because right now, all these resort owners they've invested hundreds of millions of dollars in their resorts, and the resorts are very nice, but the resorts are business that makes money for whether Canadian investors, American investors, whatever European investors that see an opportunity in Punta Cana invest and all that. But me as an individual, have you seen individual investors come in, be able to get into a property that's nice, and actually have it not be a liability when they're not in Dominican Republic? And could you give us
Yeah,
an example of that?
yeah, absolutely. There are even builders that they sell their units and they offer to manage the property as well and
Mm,
guarantee 6% annual income on that property. So if they paid 200,000, then they're guaranteeing them right now in the
mm.
middle of the pandemic $12,000 a year income.
Okay. So, do your clients usually have the agreements with the property managers? Do they Airbnb it themselves and take care of the logistics of that? What do you see the most common way to go about that?
Most common, people don't want to really deal with it.
Mm,
They want to just hire somebody. And your average cost is 25%.
mm,
So they're taking 25% of the cut of that income,
yeah,
and it's paying for all the bills
yeah,
and giving them profit, and they don't even have to do anything. It's turnkey. It's no worry free.
sure.
That the one I mentioned actually, where they're guaranteeing 6%. One thing I loved about that is their condo fees. They all these places have their condo fees, but in the condo fees, they include homeowner's insurance on the apartment and everything in the apartment as well. So it's really just no worry in cases like that.
That's great. That's really nice. So, you're saying there's a lot of inventory in Punta Cana, which I'm personally glad to hear. Um, where, what do you think is the most sought after area within Punta Cana? For those who don't know, obviously, they think about the resorts when they go to Punta Cana. The only thing that crosses their mind is the resorts. They never even imagine that they could possibly live there. So, what area is the most sought after by buyers that you work with?
Yeah, all along the Bávaro coast, really.
Hmm.
Los Corrales and El Cortecito, and then up a little further up the coast where Hard Rock
Yeah.
is, the Cana Bay.
Okay.
Those areas are probably the most sought after areas by our investors because the price is something that most of the investors can work with. Now there are even more exclusive, beautiful properties down in the Cap Cana area, which we've talked about, but the prices are generally, if you're along the coast, the prices are just really high. But if you're looking for a really exclusive property, that area in Cap Cana is really nice. But really, the heart of the nightlife, the restaurants, and all that over in Bávaro at Cortecito, that's probably our hottest place and where people really want to be.
Cool. So, I was interested in real estate in Punta Cana. I learned a little bit about how the financing works. You said my credit score was valid. I don't need to be a resident or a citizen of the Dominican Republic. So, would I have title to the property if I'm not a Dominican citizen?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a fee simple title. So you own that property outright. It is in your name. It can be passed on as an inheritance to your family members. It is definitely yours. You have legal title to that.
So, how does property taxes work currently in Punta Cana or in Dominican Republic? Can you
Great
shed any
question.
light on that?
Yeah, I'm going to start with a title transfer tax.
Okay.
In the Dominican Republic, whenever there is transfer of title from a builder to a buyer or from one owner to a new owner, there is a 3% tax that has to be paid at closing
Okay.
of this property. Now, this 3% tax is applicable to the full purchase price of the property unless the government values it at a higher cost. Then whichever number is higher, they're going to tax at 3%. Typically, though, it's right on par. It's whatever the purchase price is most often.
Okay.
They just have to have that in case somebody's trying to evade the tax somehow. So 3% title transfer fee at closing.
Okay.
There are exceptions to that.
Hmm.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Sure.
The other tax called the IPI, that tax is a 1% tax that is paid twice a year, in March and in September. And that is only on properties that are above the threshold for that year. Right now, the threshold is 132,000.
Okay.
So
So
if your property happens to be valued at less than that threshold, you have to pay that 1%.
only on the amount above the 133,000.
Yes.
Yeah. I
So
read
if you
something
have
like
a
that.
$200,000 property, then you're going to pay 1% per year
Like
on
67,000, something like that.
68, 67, yeah,
Yeah.
right around there. And that threshold is just adjusted based on uh, the value of the dollar to the peso.
Okay. So would you pay 1% in March and 1% in September, or half a percent in March and half a percent in September?
Half and half.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. And Okay, so I got some information. I was actually looking through certain properties in Punta Cana, and I saw compared to where I live here, the properties are way better priced. Like 2 bedrooms, a balcony, an ocean view, not beachfront. Um, I saw like what 150,000, 160,000
Yeah,
to
you can get that.
you know
Yeah.
um, that seemed pretty cool.
Mhm.
What else did I want to cover in regards to Punta Cana?
There's something else about taxes we
Well,
could talk about.
sure, go ahead.
How to avoid them.
Oh yeah.
That's what everybody wants to do, right?
Yeah, yeah, shed some light on this.
The Dominican Republic is very interested in promoting tourism because that
Mm.
is their main source of income here in
Yeah.
this country is tourism. So they do whatever they can to promote investment in tourist areas. So in 2001, they established a council called the Confo Tour, and that Council for Fomenting Tourism, they have uh, the they have the responsibility to determine what properties could actually have the potential to promote tourism.
Okay.
So if a builder wants to apply for the benefits of Confotour, they can do so. And if this council decides that it qualifies, then this is a great deal for the buyers. Why? As an investor in this property, you do not have to pay that 3% title transfer fee, nor do you have to pay the 1% tax that we talked about annually for up to 15 years. And most of the properties that I've seen, that's where they've been is 15 years. It's 10 to 15, but I haven't seen one below 15,
Okay.
quite honestly, in Punta Cana.
Okay. Hey, that's great.
So that applies to new construction projects. That's not going to apply to a resale.
Okay.
That benefit goes to the first owner of that property.
Okay. That seems like a great incentive to come in and save some money.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, what as a real estate agent, as somebody who lives in Punta Cana, what else should we know about the real estate market in Punta Cana that I may not have asked you, but certain you speak every day to people that want to purchase property in Punta Cana that are not Dominican and they have all types of questions for you. Could you shed some light on other any other interesting points you may have in mind?
Well, you want to have somebody who's familiar with the area, who knows what the feel is of each area. We get a lot of people that say, "Hey, I saw apartments for 50,000, and I'm really interested in getting some of these apartments for $50,000
Yeah.
because I want to Airbnb them." But what they don't realize is that all of those $50,000 apartments are being constructed in the areas where all the support workers are
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
the tourist industry. So those aren't really going to be income value properties. So you wanna find out, is this an area that really is going to generate income for me? Because
Absolutely.
if somebody goes down and then they're in an area where it's the support workers and there's a lot of people playing loud music
Yeah.
and you know
It's different.
it,
Yeah, I understand. Punta Cana, everybody in Dominican Republic is like it's its own little world within Dominican Republic.
yes.
Sometimes with its own rules, right? so so I totally understand where they would choose certain neighborhoods over others. Um, I think it was super informative to know that there's a buyer's market currently in Punta Cana, which means if people want to get in contact with you, uh, you'll be able to show them deals in Punta Cana. Due to COVID, there's well, I went for a month in September, and the airport was full. So I was like, "Is this COVID or what is it?" Because this line is real long right now.
Yeah.
That's that. So people are still visiting.
Yeah.
Um, they're interested in purchasing property. You were going to say something.
Yeah, a lot of people are very interested in getting the Airbnbs right now too. They're they're maybe a little afraid of the resorts because they don't want to be around a lot of people, but a lot of people are choosing Airbnb. So a lot of these properties are getting rented out through Airbnb and others
Yeah,
similar to Airbnb.
I've uh, I've looked at Airbnbs. I think that for those who don't know, everybody sold the resorts. The resorts can be anywhere from $200 to $500, $600 a night, depending what what resort you choose. And then you could really rent a very nice. I went for a month beachfront. I rented. Well, it's September. September's low season, so
Yeah.
you got to plan it out correctly, people. But I rented a beachfront apartment for 1,100, 1,200. And I had a balcony. I could see the beach. Obviously, there's more expensive options than what I chose, but I was super happy, and I think Punta Cana tourism is directed towards those all-inclusive packages where people don't need to think of a thing. However, there's also alternatives to vacation in Punta Cana. Getting an Airbnb for a month. There's plenty of restaurants. There's plenty of activities to do on your own. Um, some people rent a scooter, rent a pasola. Some people just rent a car. Even though car rentals, I wouldn't rent one from the airport for a month unless you want to go broke.
Right.
Because it'll be like 80 bucks a day or something like that for that long. It doesn't make any sense. Dominican Republic,
No.
it doesn't make any sense. That's a whole lot of money.
Yeah,
Um,
you can get Uber is so cheap.
yeah,
It's so cheap to have somebody take you somewhere.
yeah,
At any point, you just pay a few pesos and
yeah. I
get
think
taken wherever you need to go.
for the most part, anything within like 20 minutes, I've never paid more than $5 equivalent
Yeah,
to go anywhere. So,
absolutely.
so you're the man when it comes to real estate purchases in Punta Cana. If anybody was interested in requesting more information from you um, about purchasing a property, could you let them know what company you work with and maybe what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, I am with Keller Williams, which just launched in the country actually about 5 or 6 months ago now, July.
Okay.
Uh, the Remax was big, but everybody switched over to Keller Williams. Most everybody switched over
Yeah.
as soon as Keller Williams launched because they just have a great ethic and it's a good company to work for. But I am with the Punta Cana office working with Cheryl Henderson, who is actually the director, the operating principal for the whole country.
Okay.
And her office is there in Punta Cana.
Okay.
So
Great.
I work with Cheryl Henderson. My number, you can contact me,
Okay.
is 849
Okay.
203 5942.
Okay. I'm gonna include this information in the bio of the video so they
Okay,
know,
great.
with your contact information. Um, I appreciate.
WhatsApp is fine
Yeah, WhatsApp.
anytime.
WhatsApp is good. Let's see. Did I have any other question in regards to Punta Cana? Gorgeous. It's affordable to live there. People don't understand that. Let's say you have an apartment in Punta Cana. Having not everybody's about that lifestyle, but having like a service person like within your home is ridiculously cheap
Yeah.
in Dominican Republic. Where I mean, like, there's no reason. There's actually most of these homes come. I don't know if that's the case with service
Yeah.
quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm actually in the service quarters of this house right now.
yeah.
It's my office.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
for the most part, everyone in my family in Dominican Republic has help in the house where they live in the service quarters, like Monday through Friday or Tuesday through Saturday. Take care of all the cooking, the cleaning, all the etc. And then it's just a whole different vibe because you're in the tropics. Your dollars are worth so much more. I think the peso's like what 58 or 60 now per dollar.
58.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right. Um, you got a good environment. You have somebody helping you out at home. You don't have to worry about uh, anything related to any type of, you know, cleaning, cooking, anything like that. I actually focus a lot more when I'm there because I don't need to think about anything related to the home. So it's literally like just the
Mm-hmm.
beach, my office. I get to focus, read a book. It gets me actually pretty productive. So
Awesome.
I think that was all the questions I had in regards to real estate in Punta Cana. I got a clear overview that I don't need to be a citizen, that I will own title of the property. The taxes on the property are pretty straightforward. The financing for the property is also pretty straightforward. The best part that I liked was that I wouldn't have an additional liability because there is a possibility to rent these units out um,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm not in Punta Cana. So on a month to month basis, I would either like to break even or make a profit. And then whenever I go, I would just not, I would just have the units available for when I needed them. And you said we could leverage Airbnb for that, and we could also leverage um, these property owners or these property managers that handle that aspect for you. Do you know
Yeah.
on average what an average two bedroom would go for in Punta Cana currently?
Well, I mean, it depends on location, of course. If
Mm.
you're right on the beach, and it depends on the time and the size, the amenities, a lot's going to depend on what that particular apartment offers. But it could be anywhere. We'll go with on the beach
Yeah,
and nice finishes.
yeah.
Pictures that just say, wow, I want to be in that place. You could be looking at between 100 and 400, depending on the time of year.
Okay, cool. That sounds amazing. Thank you so much. I'm gonna end this video recording. I really
Always a pleasure
appreciate it.
to be with you.
Absolutely. So there we go. Again, stop it.